Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. So we are finally getting started on framing all of the walls in our shed to house, and I am taking you along for the journey. Of course, with framing, we immediately had to start out by putting all these hurricane ties on each of the rafters. Kenneth says this is to make it up to code, so we got these at Lowe's, and we had to get a lot of them to get this done. Like with the other videos, I will tally up our total we spent and put it near the end of the video somewhere, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Alicia and Eric come down to help us with this project to get all of our walls framed, and I am so thankful that they were willing to do that. It was a pretty decent drive for them because they live all the way across the state from us, but still, they're great friends, and I appreciate having their help. Now, one thing that we did have to deal with during this is that we are an off-grid family, for one. So running power to the shed to work on it was a little bit of a headache. We had to take our generator and pull it across the yard, set it outside of the shed, and run a bunch of drop cords to hook up and be able to run power inside. So you may see flashes of light every time the chop saw cuts on because it draws so much power when it first starts up that it kind of dimmed the lights or shut them off completely, which made it hard to deal with. As well as there's no windows in our shed. If you've seen it being delivered, you have seen that. And that was done so that we could choose exactly where we wanted our windows once we had the room set up. But that means we don't have any natural light inside of the shed while we're working. So we tried to work off these like work lights, spotlights type deal. It made it funky with the lighting, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize up front about that. We chose to start our framing journey in Declan's room, building the wall between the library and Declan's room, which Declan was, of course, very thrilled about because it was his wall and it was getting done first. So he had to have a little help at hand. He helped Kenneth mark the top and bottom plates of the wall so that all of the 2x4s would line up perfectly. And then he tried to help line them up, but I don't know how much of a help that was. Still, he tried. While building this, it was like 90 degrees outside and there's no windows in the shed. So we did have fans going. That's why I do not have the sound on in the video. It was extremely loud in there. Still, we were all super sweaty by the time we were done, but we made progress. We stuck through it and we got through the heat of the day. By the way, Declan's being a zombie. And just like that, the first wall was lifted up and into place. The nail gun that Kenneth is using here, he did buy from Harbor Freight specifically for building the house. So you will, of course, see that and the nails we used for it in the total you'll see at the end. The second wall is done and lifted into place, and Declan's room now has 2 walls. The way that we designed the house made use of as little wall space as possible to get what we wanted, so we have many open areas. That means we had less walls to frame. We needed to use less lumber to do it, and it made the whole process cheaper on us. So as you design your house, try to see what areas you can leave open or can combine into one to allow you to use less wood to frame out the walls. After finishing Declan's wall, we moved on over to the bathroom area, which is right next to the master bedroom area and backs up into the kitchen. So it is a very, mixed up area, but really by adding the wall to each side of the bathroom, we went ahead and finished that whole area out. Now, the bathroom area wall is the most complicated that we had. We wanted something a little bit different in our bathroom. The rafter line in the shed sets very low, so if we made the ceiling of our bathroom even with that rafter line, it would make it very short. We're talking like 6 feet, which to some people does not seem very short, but I have members in my family who are over 6 feet tall. Not in my immediate family of me, Kenneth, and Declan, but in my family members who will be visiting in the future that are over 6 feet tall, and I did not want them to have to stoop down when they used the bathroom. So we extended the roof line up past that rafter line by 2 feet and made the bathroom 8 feet tall. And that meant we had to figure out a way to make the side of the wall angled to match the barn style roof on the shed. It was not very complicated once we got into it and we got to figuring it out, but just getting it in the mind and figuring out how Kenneth wanted it done was the hardest part. So their solution was, of course, we stood the wall up, kind of see where the angle was, and then Kenneth cut that angle out, so on both sides, which is pretty scary, because you really don't want somebody to mess up when they're cutting the angle out of your wall. Once he cut that out, they added one piece of board that went between the studs to be able to keep it lined up and at 90 degrees so that our spacing did not get off. and then they fit another piece of 2x4 that went angled in to match the roof line. So the hope is when we stand the wall back up, it will now match the roof line, and that will be how the bathroom goes. So it kind of curves a bit at the top, but you still have headspace, which is exactly what I wanted. Now, as you can see, the roof line of the bathroom is now above the loft line that goes above the master bedroom. So that kind of made things a little bit trickier. Plus, we were extending the loft out an additional 2 feet, so we had to deal with that as well when setting up our bathroom. So it did get a little bit more confusing in how things would line up, but working together and putting our heads all together, we were able to figure it out and make it all work. So Kenneth now has one bathroom wall in place, and you can see where he did the small section of the wall at our bedroom wall, and so the opening you see is of course where the door will go into our bedroom. Now, during all this, Declan had a lot of fun. He would nail nails into boards, working on those arm muscles. He was turning boards into ramps. He was just, having a blast. So that's always fun when he can get in there and work with us. Once Kenneth figured out how he wanted to do the one angled wall for the bathroom, it was very easy for him to duplicate the design and do the other angled wall. Alright friends, let's talk about what we have spent for this project of framing out our walls. So the first thing we bought was the framing nail gun. We got this on sale at Harbor Freight because we are Harbor Freight members, and it cost us $85. Then we have the nails, and this includes the nails for the framing nail gun, as well as nails that we use to put up the hurricane ties, just nailing random things that we needed, stuff like that. We still have some of these nails left over, but we're going to go ahead and count them, and then of course we will use them up throughout the house build. And we spent $61 for nails that we purchased during this framing project. The wood for the framing, most of this is in 2x4s. We bought over 100 pieces because if you buy more than 100 2x4s at a time, you get a discounted price on them. So we paid just about $1 per board, and that ended up being a total of $400 on all wood we needed for framing out the house. Then we had those hurricane clips, and remember I told you we bought a lot. Again, if you buy those in bulk, you get a bulk discount from Lowe's, and we paid $80 for those. Remember, this does include different veteran discounts that I get, as well as the discount we get at Harbor Freight. But our project total for framing out was $626. That gives us a grand total to date of everything we have spent on foundation, the shed to house, getting it moved, getting it set up, and now framing, is a grand total of $30,141. Once the bathroom was done, Kenneth was able to add the additional rafters to expand out our loft area, and then we placed the plywood on top to give us a solid footing area, and you can see now it extends all the way over where the edge of the bathroom is, and it comes up 2 feet. That area will again have a roof on it. The space between there and the ceiling of the barn style roof will actually be an additional storage area where we can put stuff up on there. And our walls are all up. I am so excited to have that done. Let's take a house tour real quick. So we are looking in from the front door. Looking towards the left from the front door, you can see Declan's room back there in the back and the library all the way over there to the left. Now if we go to the right side of the house, you can see we are looking now at the kitchen area. That's what that tape is on the ground. It's showing where my counter, stove, fridge, and island will be. Behind where that tape is, you see that first wall, that's where the bathroom is. And so you can now see the opening for the bathroom where the door will go, and then over into there is the opening of our bedroom. Now the area next to that, up against the wall, that is where the stairs will go leading up into the loft. So walking forwards, you can now see we are entering into the bathroom. This will have a stand-up shower in it, possibly with a tub. We have not quite decided. A sink, a toilet, and some kind of cabinetry to hold towels. Plain and simple is what we like. It's a 6x8 bathroom, so plenty of space for all of that. Going out of the bathroom and turning immediately left will take you into the master bedroom, aka mine and Kenneth's room. We walk into there. We will have windows in the room. They're obviously not in yet. Turn and you can look all the way at the back of the wall where that tape is. That will be where the closet goes all the way across. That is the only wall area that's missing at this time because we had not decided how we wanted to do it. So this area right here is exactly where I was talking about the stairs will go. Underneath the stairs will be a closet that'll be like a little mudroom closet for us hanging jackets, for storing shoes, things like that. So it won't be just stairs, they will be dual purpose. And then we will have a window on each side of the door. This half square here is where the fridge will go, the L-shaped cabinets behind it, and then the stove on past it. The island will be in the center. And it's got 3-foot walking space between the island, the fridge, the cabinets, that sort of thing. Now left of the front door is Declan's room. We would currently be standing where the living room is, and then Declan's room is there with a loft above it. Right here is where the stairs will go for that loft, and under those stairs we will create a pantry. So again, multi-use items. It's not just stairs, it will have a pantry in it as well. Here's Declan's room. It is a 9x12 room, and it is a pretty decent size. Still needs its windows, but at least it has its walls. And immediately next to Declan's room is where my library will go. So it will have bookshelves that line the walls and a desk for homeschooling. Kenneth, as you can see, did go back in and add the roof to the bathroom. So he went ahead and threw up some wood up there to make the roof line, and then just placed some plywood on top of that, and it was done. Alright friends, well that's all we have for you today. We did manage to get all of our rooms framed out in one weekend. Thanks to Alicia and Eric for coming down and helping us. It was good to have Eric and Alicia here who have built a shed to house and kind of know the ropes. So they were able to help Kenneth out, so all the measuring and nailing and stuff didn't fall to him. So until next time friends, bye. I'll see you later.